State quarters aren't just fun to collect. They can also be worth serious money. Rare errors, limited mintages, and certain state designs make some of these coins highly valuable. Imagine pulling a quarter from your change and realizing it's worth hundreds. Let's break down the state quarters you should never overlook. The 2004 Florida quarter dollar is one of those remarkable coins that, at first glance, looks like just another piece of pocket change from the U.S. Mint's popular 50-state quarters program. Millions of these coins were struck and circulated across the country, telling the story of Florida with its design showcasing a 16th-century Spanish galleon, a space shuttle soaring into the sky, and the iconic sabal palm tree. For most people, this coin has no more than face value, just 25 cents to spend on a gumball or drop into a parking meter. But in the world of numismatics, certain examples of this coin stand out as rare treasures worth staggering amounts. Believe it or not, some varieties and errors of the 2004 Florida quarter have been valued anywhere between $40,000 and $120,000, making it one of the most talked about state quarters among collectors. What makes this coin so fascinating is the combination of design significance, its role in one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history, and the rare errors that make some of them worth more than most people's annual salary. The State Quarters program, launched in 1999, was a massive initiative by the U.S. Mint to honor each state with its own unique quarter design. By 2004, the program was in full swing, and Florida was among the coins released that year. The state's design was a bold one, telling a story of both history and innovation. The Spanish galleon symbolizes the early European exploration of Florida, while the space shuttle pays homage to Kennedy Space Center and Florida's key role in space exploration. Add to that the sabal palm, Florida's state tree, and you have a coin design rich with symbolism and meaning. But beyond the design lies the true excitement, errors and varieties that make some of these coins extraordinarily rare. Among the most coveted are double die errors, where parts of the design, such as the inscriptions or the images, appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die-making process. Imagine looking closely at the date 2004 or at the word Florida and seeing it doubled. It immediately turns a simple 25-cent coin into a collector's dream. High-grade double-die Florida quarters are some of the coins that have brought values as high as $120,000 when found in pristine, uncirculated condition. Another valuable error associated with this coin is the off-center strike. Normally, the quarter's design should be perfectly centered on the blank planchet, but if the coin is struck incorrectly, the design may appear shifted, leaving part of the coin blank. A dramatic off-center strike that still preserves the date and part of the design can make the coin incredibly desirable. These coins are rare because they are usually caught during minting and destroyed before reaching circulation, but a few slip through, and those that survive today are worth far more than pocket change. Even more intriguing are wrong planchet errors, where the Florida quarter was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination. For example, if it was struck on a dime planchet, the coin would be smaller and lighter, but still carry the Florida design. These anomalies are highly collectible because they are such striking deviations from the norm. When authenticated and preserved in high-grade condition, wrong planchet 2004 Florida quarters can bring astonishing amounts of money, easily landing in that $40,000 to $120,000 price range. Collectors are also on the lookout for coins with missing design elements, such as those struck with a filled die, where parts of the design don't show up clearly because the die was clogged during production. On a Florida quarter, a filled die could obscure details of the galleon, the shuttle, or the palm tree, creating a coin that looks oddly incomplete. While not as dramatic as a double die or wrong planchet, these coins can still draw the attention of specialists and fetch strong prices at auction. The thrill of the 2004 Florida quarter is amplified by the sheer possibility that one of these rare varieties could still be out there in circulation. Because state quarters were mass-produced in the hundreds of millions and eagerly collected by people across the United States, it's entirely possible that a rare error coin has been sitting unnoticed in someone's change jar for years. Stories circulate of lucky individuals discovering rare state quarters worth tens of thousands of dollars in old rolls from banks or inherited coin collections. The idea that a coin worth up to $120,000 could be hiding in plain sight adds a sense of adventure and possibility to everyday transactions. Condition, of course, plays a huge role in value. A 2004 Florida quarter with an error that has circulated heavily may still hold some collector value, but it won't come close to the jaw-dropping amounts brought in by pristine examples. Coins graded mint state by professional services like PCGS or NGC, especially those with brilliant luster and no signs of wear, command the highest prices. That's why so much emphasis is placed on uncirculated rolls or proof sets, where the likelihood of finding a rare, well-preserved error is greater. Proof coins themselves add another dimension to the story. The U.S. Mint produced special proof versions of the 2004 Florida quarter for collectors, with sharp details and mirror-like finishes. While most proof coins are made with extreme precision, errors do occasionally happen, and a proof coin with a major error would be one of the rarest and most valuable finds imaginable. Imagine a 2004 Florida proof quarter with a double die error. The rarity of such a coin would make it a centerpiece in any collection and could easily command prices at the very top of that $40,000 to $120,000 range. Part of what makes the Florida quarter so engaging is the dual nature of its symbolism and its rarity. The design connects Florida's rich past as a destination for explorers with its modern identity as the home of space exploration. This juxtaposition resonates with collectors who appreciate both the artistry of the design and the stories behind it. Coupled with the fact that errors give some of these coins immense financial value, the Florida quarter stands as one of the more captivating issues from the entire state quarter series. One famous story in the numismatic community involves a collector who discovered an unusual 2004 Florida quarter while searching through a bag of circulated coins. At first, the coin didn't seem particularly special, but upon closer inspection, the collector noticed signs of doubling on the inscriptions. After sending the coin to be authenticated and graded, it was revealed to be an extraordinary double die variety. At auction, it brought a sum that shocked even seasoned collectors, soaring into the tens of thousands of dollars. Stories like this add to the mystique of the coin and inspire everyday people to pay closer attention to the change in their pockets. The 2004 Florida quarter also serves as a reminder of how small details can make an enormous difference. To the untrained eye, an error coin might look like nothing more than a slightly unusual quarter, but to someone who knows what to look for, it could represent a life-changing discovery. Checking for doubling, inspecting the centering of the strike, and measuring the weight for possible wrong planchet errors are all ways collectors identify these rarities. The fact that so much potential value can be hidden in something as ordinary as a state quarter continues to fuel the fascination. In the end, the story of the 2004 Florida quarter is one of discovery, rarity, and the thrill of possibility. It is a coin that represents both history and modern innovation. A coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever realizing that some rare examples are worth more than a brand new luxury car. With values ranging from $40,000 to $120,000 for the rarest and most pristine error varieties, this quarter is a perfect example of why numismatics is such an exciting field. Every coin has a story, and in the case of the Florida quarter, that story might just change someone's life. So the next time you come across a 2004 Florida quarter, take a closer look. Examine the details, check for doubling, study the strike. Because while most are just ordinary coins worth 25 cents, there's always the possibility that you've stumbled upon one of the rare treasures worth up to $120,000. And that possibility, more than anything else, is what keeps collectors searching and makes coins like the Florida quarter so captivating. The U.S. 2007 Wyoming State quarter dollar is one of those coins that stands out in the long history of American currency. While quarters are some of the most commonly used coins in everyday transactions, the Wyoming State quarter has become a fascinating piece for both casual observers and serious collectors. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter, but those who know its history and the hidden potential behind certain rare examples will tell you that it is so much more. What makes this coin truly captivating is the story it tells, the design it carries, and the fact that in certain conditions or with rare minting anomalies, it has been valued at extraordinary prices, sometimes reaching between $34,000 and $105,000. That kind of valuation has turned a coin many people may have once dismissed as ordinary into a sought-after treasure in the numismatic world. The Wyoming State quarter was part of the famous 50 State Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999. A program that became one of the most successful coin series in American history. Each state was honored with a unique design that captured an aspect of its identity, and Wyoming's quarter was released in 2007. Featuring a bucking horse and rider, the design reflects Wyoming's deep ties to cowboy culture, rodeos, and the rugged spirit of the American West. Inscribed with the state nickname, the Equality State, it also highlights Wyoming's role as the first state to grant women the right to vote, cementing its place in history as a leader in equality and progress. For collectors, the design itself is meaningful, but what elevates the Wyoming quarter into the spotlight is the scarcity of high-grade examples and rare mint errors. Billions of state quarters were minted, but only a tiny fraction of them survive in flawless condition, untouched by circulation. Coins that have been preserved perfectly, free of scratches, marks, or blemishes, command a premium because they are so rare. Beyond that, some Wyoming quarters are known for unusual mint errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or missing elements that make them unique. Each of these variations increases the rarity, and rarity always drives demand. When these rare coins appear at auctions, bidding can quickly escalate, with final sales sometimes falling in the remarkable range of $34,000 to $105,000. The appeal of the Wyoming quarter is also tied to its symbolism. The bucking horse and rider is not just a design. It is an emblem of Wyoming's heritage. It has been used as a state symbol for over a century and is widely recognized across the country. For collectors, owning a pristine or rare version of the Wyoming quarter is not just about value, but also about possessing a piece of American identity. This deep connection between design, symbolism, and scarcity is what makes certain coins so captivating. Let's consider what sets the rare and valuable Wyoming quarters apart. In most cases, these coins were struck at either the Denver or Philadelphia mints in 2007, with millions produced at each location. Yet, because of the sheer number of coins minted, quality control sometimes allowed mistakes to slip through. Coins struck off-center, for example, show the design shifted noticeably from its intended placement, while double die varieties exhibit doubling in parts of the design, making details appear blurry or repeated. Each of these types of errors adds character and uniqueness, turning an everyday quarter into a collectible. Collectors also pay close attention to the grading scale, which measures a coin's condition from poor to mint state perfection. A Wyoming quarter in circulated condition, one that has passed through countless hands, is still only worth its face value of 25 cents. But a coin graded mint state 67 or higher, where every detail is sharp and the surfaces gleam with original mint luster, can be worth thousands. The very few that reach mint state 69 or 70, considered nearly flawless, are the ones that cross into astonishing price territory. When these top-tier examples go to auction, their rarity and desirability combine to drive bidding to unexpected heights. Stories of collectors finding valuable coins often inspire others to check their own pocket change, and the Wyoming quarter is no exception. There are tales of individuals purchasing rolls of state quarters from banks just to search through them, and every so often, someone uncovers a coin that turns out to be much more than 25 cents. When these discoveries are verified, authenticated, and graded, the coins sometimes end up selling for staggering amounts. The Wyoming quarter has been one of those cases, where rare finds have captured the attention of the coin community and beyond. When we look back at the 50 state quarters program, it's clear that it changed the way people thought about coin collecting. Millions of Americans who had never collected coins before began saving quarters from each state, creating albums and sets. Wyoming's release in 2007 was a part of that cultural moment, and the design resonated with people across the country. But what most people didn't realize at the time was that certain coins from that release would eventually become incredibly valuable. Today, when collectors reflect on the series, the Wyoming quarter stands out as one of the most exciting because of its combination of striking design and surprising value potential. Auction houses and online marketplaces have witnessed the growing demand for Wyoming quarters in high grades and with mint errors. It's not uncommon for these coins to spark bidding wars, as collectors compete for the chance to own something so rare. The thrill of the auction, the moment when a coin surpasses its expected value and climbs into the tens of thousands, adds to the mystique. For those in the room or watching online, it's a reminder that history, art, and value converge in remarkable ways through coins like the 2007 Wyoming quarter. Another fascinating detail is how the Wyoming quarter reflects broader trends in modern numismatics. While older coins from the 19th and early 20th centuries are traditionally seen as the most valuable, modern coins are increasingly being recognized for their rarity and collectability. This is particularly true for coins like the Wyoming quarter, where minting technology was advanced and errors were much less common. That means when errors did occur, they were incredibly rare. The scarcity factor, combined with the cultural significance of the design, has propelled the Wyoming quarter into the spotlight of modern collectible coins. Beyond monetary value, collectors often talk about the emotional connection they feel to their coins. The Wyoming quarter represents more than just a state. It embodies the spirit of the West, the cowboy tradition, and the pursuit of equality. Owning a rare or pristine example of this coin allows collectors to feel a direct connection to those ideals, while also holding onto a piece of art and history. For many, that connection is priceless, and it explains why they are willing to pay such high sums at auction. In the end, the story of the 2007 Wyoming State $quarter coin is about much more than currency. It is about how a simple 25-cent piece can carry the weight of history, culture, and incredible value. From its design celebrating Wyoming's rugged spirit and role in advancing equality, to the rare minting errors and flawless examples that have captured the attention of collectors, this coin has proven itself to be extraordinary. And when those rare examples surface, selling for jaw-dropping amounts between $34,000 and $105,000, they remind us that treasures often hide in plain sight. For anyone interested in coin collecting, the Wyoming quarter offers both inspiration and motivation. It shows that even modern coins, minted within our lifetimes, can achieve legendary status. It encourages us to look closer at the coins in our pockets, to pay attention to details, and to never underestimate the potential of something small. The 2007 Wyoming State $quarter is proof that even the most common objects in our daily lives can turn out to be extraordinary, valuable, and deeply meaningful. It is a reminder that history and opportunity are always within reach, sometimes resting right in the palm of your hand. In the world of coin collecting, every year of minting has its surprises, and sometimes those surprises come from the most unexpected places. One coin that has taken collectors and treasure hunters alike by storm is the 2013 South Dakota State $quarter coin. At first glance, it might look like just another modern quarter, a piece of change you'd casually toss into a parking meter or hand over at a grocery store. But in reality, some of these coins are hiding secrets that make them worth far more than 25 cents. In fact, certain examples of the 2013 South Dakota State quarter have sold for staggering amounts, ranging from $34,000 to as much as $98,000. It's the kind of story that keeps people checking their pockets and digging through old coin jars, because you never know when a small fortune might be hiding in plain sight. The South Dakota quarter itself is part of the iconic 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful and beloved initiatives ever launched by the United States Mint. Running from 1999 to 2008, it produced a unique design for each of the 50 states, celebrating their history, culture, and identity. South Dakota's quarter was first introduced in 2006, featuring the majestic Mount Rushmore National Memorial alongside a ring-necked pheasant in flight, framed by wheat stalks. By 2013, these state quarters were still circulating widely, still being used by millions of people across the country. But while most South Dakota quarters from that time are worth only their face value, a select few examples struck in 2013 stand apart. And that's where the story gets interesting. To understand how a coin that should only be worth 25 cents can suddenly be valued at tens of thousands of dollars, you need to look closely at what makes these 2013 South Dakota quarters so special. It often comes down to condition, rarity, and minting anomalies. Coins that were never circulated, that somehow escaped scratches, dings, and can command impressive premiums on their own. Collectors prize coins in mint state grades like MS-67 or MS-68, where every detail of the design is sharp and the coin surfaces are flawless. These ultra-high-grade coins are extremely rare because the vast majority of quarters go straight into circulation and pick up damage almost immediately. A pristine 2013 South Dakota quarter, preserved in such perfect condition, is enough to spark bidding wars at auctions and private sales. But condition is only part of the story. What really fuels excitement are error coins, those rare pieces where something went wrong at the mint. Errors are like fingerprints of history, accidents that slipped through the tight quality control processes of the United States Mint. In the case of the 2013 South Dakota quarter, known error varieties include off-center strikes, double die errors where parts of the design appear doubled, and coins struck on the wrong type of blank or planchet. Imagine finding a quarter where Washington's portrait is misaligned, or the Mount Rushmore design has ghost-like doubling in the details. Such mistakes instantly transform an ordinary quarter into an object of desire for collectors. Even more dramatic are wrong planchet errors, where a quarter design was accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet. These bizarre one-in-a-million coins become legendary within the collecting community and can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. It's these combinations of factors, condition, rarity, and errors that have propelled certain 2013 South Dakota quarters to the incredible price range of $34,000 to $98,000. When one of these coins shows up at an auction house, the atmosphere is electric. Imagine a quiet room suddenly alive with the tension of collectors raising their paddles, each unwilling to let such a rare piece slip away. The bidding starts low but quickly skyrockets as determined collectors recognize the opportunity. By the time the gavel falls, the price has soared into 5 figures, sometimes even reaching that jaw-dropping $98,000 mark. It's moments like these that remind us just how much passion and value can be tied to something as small and ordinary as a quarter. The story of the 2013 South Dakota quarter isn't just about auctions and rarity, though. It's also about discovery. There are countless stories of people who stumble upon rare coins in the most ordinary of places. A woman cleaning out her father's old coin jar might find a pristine example tucked away for years. A teenager searching through rolls of quarters from the bank could pull out a misstruck error coin without realizing its true value. Someone might even receive one of these rare coins as change and unknowingly carry a small fortune in their pocket. That's the thrill of coin collecting. The possibility that any coin you handle could turn out to be something extraordinary. The South Dakota design itself adds to the charm of the coin. Mount Rushmore, with its massive granite faces of Presidents Washington, Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Lincoln, is one of America's most iconic landmarks. Paired with the pheasant, the state bird, in full flight and framed by wheat stalks, the coin captures the rugged spirit of South Dakota. This design has always made the South Dakota quarter a favorite among collectors, and when you combine that visual appeal with rarity and value, it becomes even more desirable. It's worth remembering that the 2013 South Dakota quarter is part of a larger story of modern coin collecting. The 50-state quarters program and its follow-ups introduced millions of Americans to the hobby. People began filling albums, hunting through their change, and learning about the history behind each design. That surge of interest helped fuel a new generation of collectors, many of whom are still active today. For them, finding a rare 2013 South Dakota quarter isn't just about the money. It's about connecting to a piece of history, about holding a small work of art that reflects the culture and pride of a state. The market for these coins remains strong, and values are unlikely to diminish anytime soon. Collectors understand how rare these pieces are, and as more are tucked away into private collections, the supply available to the public only decreases. That scarcity drives demand even higher. The fact that some 2013 South Dakota quarters have already sold for between $34,000 and $98,000 is a clear sign of their importance and desirability. So the next time you're handed a quarter as change, don't just toss it in your pocket without a glance. Look closer. Examine the details, the date, the condition. Because among the countless 2013 South Dakota state quarters that were minted, a few have the potential to be life-changing. They might be sitting unnoticed in a coin jar, hiding in a roll of quarters, or even waiting in your own pocket right now. The thrill of the hunt is real, and the rewards can be extraordinary. After all, when a coin designed to be worth 25 cents can instead be valued between $34,000 and $98,000, every quarter you come across deserves a second look.